Hi teachers, I'm going to explain a couple of additional things about NoRedInk in this screencast. I'm making this screencast outside during the school day, so if you hear Coach Quinlan's voice or a lot of students yelling, "Yes sir," that's why, just to warn you. So a couple of things about NoRedInk that might be useful for you. First is this rules tab that you see at the top of your page. This is just another way for students to practice specific skills, and I'll show you how it links back into the data that you get about students' progress. So if you click on rules, you'll see a list of a lot of different grammar categories, just like you do in other places in NoRedInk. And if you click on any of these, you will get a quick little rule for how this grammar topic should be taught or understood by students. So that might, there you go, there's Coach. This might be useful just in explaining different grammar rules to students. It's just a nice resource to have. But what I really want to show you is this practice this link up here. So once you click on practice this, you'll see that there's an additional place for students to practice different skills. So this is completely separate from assignments, quizzes, and pre-tests. This is a whole other way for students to get in some practice, and it's just automated. So whereas with the quizzes and assignments, you set up how many questions and which exact subtopics you want to be tested on and all of those things, this part of NoRedInk is just all automated. It's like just a lot of drilling about specific skills. So if I'm in this capitalization one, there will be some instructions for students and they can learn as they go. And then they will see this mastery circle. So the goal is obviously to get this mastery score up to 100. It is not a percentage score. It is just about progress. It's somehow otherwise calculated. It's not a percentage. So it's a lot like the SMART score in IXL. Questions will get harder as mastery goes up, easier as questions are answered incorrectly, and that score will adjust according to that. So you'll see that as I submit my answers, my mastery score is going to change, and this is just sort of more game-like than the assignments and the quizzes. So it's just another way for students to practice specific skills. So I'll show you what this looks like for students. Right now, as you can see, it says this is how your students see NoRedInk. So any student that is logged in will have this practice tab at the top of their page. It's the exact same thing that if you were to go to rules and then click practice this like we just did. So if a student were to click on practice, they'd have all these different boxes with all these different categories. So NoRedInk suggests that you could maybe have a goal for your students to get 3 of these boxes to turn green. Once they have mastery, once they're up to that 100, it may go green before 100. I'm not exactly sure what that number is, but once they've achieved mastery, according to NoRedInk, this box is going to turn green. So might be a fun activity for students or a fun challenge for them to try to get 3 boxes to turn green under apostrophes, or 5, or whatever you might choose. This is just another way for, again, your students to get different practice on different skills. So this is what it would look like for them. They click on it, they can practice and get that mastery score up. So I encourage you to explore this with your students. Now, I'm going to go back to the teacher homepage, and I'm going to show you that on this progress tab, this is where you can really drill down and see how each of your students are doing on different skills. You can choose your class from this dropdown, and then you can choose the category from this dropdown. Now, obviously right now I don't have a lot of data because I only have 1 student in this fake class and they have not done very much work. That test student is a little bit lazy. So I'm going to show you, if I can pull it up here, what this would look like if you had a complete set of class data. So they call this a heat map. It should be pretty easy to sort of look at and get an idea on how students are doing. So we're in the apostrophe category. These are all of the subcategories. You can see this legend, and then you can see how each and every student is doing based on each subcategory. If you hover over a specific box, that's what's happening here, then you can see the percentage that that student has on that specific subtopic. So it's just a really good way to see where are there a lot of reds, where are we doing good, there's a lot of green, which students need help with which skills. Now, this heat map is based on results from assignments, quizzes, and that practice that I just showed you. So it's a summation of everything that the student has done on NoRedInk, and that's what will create that color and that percentage in that box. So for a while you might have a heat map that looks like mine. It's not very filled in. This green circle means there's not enough data, but eventually it should look like this, and you should be able to drill down and see what specific students need to work on. So this could be really useful for personalized learning block, or just helping your students to get up the skills that they need. Last thing I want to show you is this, if we go home and if we choose one of the classes and click on progress, that will get us to the same place that we were before. So just kidding. I actually want to go to assigned work, and I'm going to go to the class that I've actually assigned work to. And if you look at the results of a specific assignment or quiz, this is another place where you can drill down some data. Again, I don't have a lot of data because I only have one lazy test student in my class. So I'm going to show you another screenshot that shows more data. So you'll see that a green check means that the student has got the question right on their first try. A red check means they got it right, but not on their first attempt. And then a red X means that they eventually gave up. They did not get the question right. As you can see, you can hover over this box, and you can see what their attempt was, how it was different from the correct answer, how many attempts it took them. That little yellow box is the number of attempts it took them to get at the correct answer. So this is just a more granular view. This heat map gives you a huge view of everything the student has done in NoRedInk. Another one gives you a more granular view of every single question that they answered on a quiz or an assignment. You can figure out why they got it wrong, where they were struggling, and see some patterns in your class. So that is the couple of extra things I have to show you about NoRedInk. If you have any questions, let me know. Sorry, the screencast is a little scattered and occasionally interrupted by middle schoolers yelling, "Yes, sir." I hope you guys have a great day, and let me know how I can help, as always.